Hey everybody, it's Sarah Cray with Let's Make Art, and this coming week we are going to be doing a beautiful little bluebird. So tune in on Tuesday night, 7:15 Central Standard Time, but for now, here's a little preview. I'm going to start off with a number 2 brush this time, and then I'm going to take my slate blue and just start filling in the darker areas of the bird, so some feathers and kind of around the eye. And now I'm going to start adding my Norway blue. Now a good thing to do with watercolor is to start with your stronger area first, so where it's a little bit darker or stronger in color, and then just take clean water and spread out to the lighter areas of the bird. Now I'm switching back to my number 2 because I used my 4 for the larger areas, and I'm just going to go along the edges here to get a really fine line. Now I'm going to do my belly. Now even though my belly is white, I still want to show that it has form, so I'm going to do a little bit of shading on the bottom, just using gray and a tiny bit of the yellow to give it some color. Now when I do my foot, I don't want to outline it completely because that will flatten it. So I just like to darken kind of where the foot meets the bird, and then maybe the nails and the toes a little bit. Now when we do watercolor, we also can do layers. So I did a little bit of a darker layer just underneath the eyeball because we want to make it clear that it kind of sinks around the eye and then the eyeball itself pops out. Then I'm doing a soft wash over my feathers. I don't want to do it too heavy right now because I don't want to lose my darker lines that I'm going to go back over with. Now as you can see, I'm going back and forth kind of totally across this painting because with watercolor you kind of have to lay something down and then let it dry and then come back to it and add layers to it. So the best thing to do is work on an area, let it dry, move on to something else, let that dry, and then just kind of keep on going all around until the bird is completely done. Now with this darker feather here, I'm using black for the underneath part of the shade, and then I'm going to use yellow to do this yellow part that's underneath the wing. Now I'm making sure that my white belly is completely dry, or else that yellow color is going to bleed across my bird's belly. So just make sure that's dry before you lay down that color. And I did kind of a cooler yellow, so if you want to go ahead and do like a warmer yellow, kind of like an orange, you're welcome to do that. And then I'm just kind of darkening the feathers that are on the top part of this bird. And then I left the top part of the bird's beak white and the top part of the head white because I wanted to do a really soft wash along that. And so I always like to leave my whiter parts kind of more towards the end, and then that way I can just do a soft wash over them. Now with my number 2 brush, I like to do my detail work. So when my bird is kind of dry, I like to go back in and do some lines for the feather work. Now when we do this, it just shows that there's layers and there's other elements coming out of the bird. So that's why there's a little bit of fuzz kind of near the bottom of the belly, near the top of the beak, and then also on the belly of the bird itself we have some feather textures there. Now for the eyeball, I like to leave a white section, the top part usually of the black section. I like to leave that white, and then that's a glare off the black part of the eyeball, so that gives it a little bit of form itself. And then just I'm going back, I'm kind of blending in things, I'm filling out the parts that are still white. And to blend it, you usually just take a clean brush and kind of smear what's around it, and then that will hopefully make you lose the hard lines. Now with my bleed proof white, I'm just going to add a little bit of highlight on the belly for some feathers, on the back tail on the feathers, and then right around the eye of the bird. And that's it. I'm so excited to see yours.
So money.